We now return to Mega March. Plasma Power!
Number 4.
Hello everyone, ColeManX here. In a world covered by endless water. That's all I know about the opening of Mega Man Legends, but even that was enough to give it a high recommendation. Now that I've actually watched it, I really like how it's read as if it's like, you know, someone reading a children's book. And I mean that in the best way possible. Like, it's just like the inflections of the narrator. Like, he's like, when it's like an exciting word, he's like, ah, up here. And then he even whispers, whispered. You know, like, it's just, I don't know, it's good stuff. And the way he's reading some of it, it almost sounds like, you know, he's reading it for the first time and he's just as surprised by this information as we are. And that's funny. And I love it. But then, you know, we see some gameplay, you know, before the game actually starts. And we see our new Mega Man. And the first thing he does is just greet the screen with a great big smile. And you just know he's a good boy. But then, uh-oh, Indiana Jones Man attacks. And it starts the adventure.
Okay. Now, this is one I was waiting to talk about. Once I knew what we were doing for Mega March, I could not wait to talk about this one. In a world covered by endless water. Oh, those words are burned into my memory. I can hear the narrator. I don't know if the narrator who he played in the game. I think he was the voice of the police officer? He was someone. He's one of the voices, but that opening narration is so good. Like, and I know it's like a little whimsical. Like, there's one part where he's like, you know, these diggers travel the world in their flying machines. And, you know, it kind of sounds like he's being like a little, like, you know, like he's telling a story to like a kid. And, you know, when I was a kid, I was like, this is like stupid. Like, you know, they're trying too hard to sound like whimsical and meaningful. But like now that I'm an adult, I'm like, actually, I love that. I love the tonality in this. I love the way that they're doing it. I love the way that they're talking about it. Because Mega Man Legends is very much like a story. It's a legend. It's a myth. You're hearing the story of these brave diggers that go around the world and dig up these treasures and keep society running and all these things. And it just perfectly sets the stage. It is like you're reading a book. It's like you're having someone reading a book to you, you know? When I listen to it now, I feel like a little kid, you know, having someone reading a story to me, like a bedtime story, you know, telling me these fantastical fables of these heroes that, you know, travel the world and do all these things, you know. And so the intro to Mega Man Legends is just burned into my head. And it's so simple. It's just a picture of the ocean, and then he even says, in a world covered by endless water. He shows you it's a world covered in endless water. And very slowly, the camera just starts panning over, and you see this thing sticking out of the ocean. And you're like, well, what the heck is that thing? I don't know what that is. And then you see the flutter slowly come onto screen. That's our heroes. And they're very, very, very slowly approaching this thing sticking out of the water. And it's like, oh, what's going on? And there's just very gentle text scrolling up the screen, you know, showing you the narration of what he's saying to you, and it's just so very effective. It's just this nice slow intro crawl. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if the intro to Star Wars like chilled out and it wasn't so like in your face with the bombastic, you know, triumphant music and stuff. It's very subdued, very subtle, and very soft. And I really, for some reason, really like that. It completely sets it apart from other Mega Man games. And I really do feel like after you listen to it, you are going to embark on like an amazing journey. And so I love it. And I also love the fact that as you see the flutter land at this thing in the ocean, when you start the game, that's where you're at. So I didn't even put two and two together when I was a kid at first. I was like, oh, what's going on? But that's what you're doing. That is showing them on approach to the first the first ruin for the introduction of the game. And so I just think that's a really nice transition. Not only is it great scenery and it's great world building, but then it also leads directly into the game perfectly. So Mega Man Legends is by far my favorite intro to any Mega Man game, just because of that opening narration. I would love to find the voice actor who did it, and I want to interview them one day, maybe in an episode of Ramblin' Reploids, I don't know. But just I just want to let them know that I really appreciate that, and that those words are forever stuck in my mind.
I think for a lot of us, Mega Man Legends' opening is memorable for 7 or 6 words. In a world covered by endless water. It's the first thing you hear right when you boot up the game, and you're hit with that first cutscene. And I grew up like so many of you, playing the 2D traditional Mega Man games, and just kind of coming off of Mega Man 8 and X4 with these stunning, fast, action-paced traditional cutscenes, animated intro cutscenes. I kind of went into this originally thinking Legend would have the same thing, but instead we're kind of treated to this nice little lore-heavy introduction into the world of Mega Man Legends. And it makes me laugh today, but this voice actor, he's really getting his money's worth. I think he's the same guy that voiced the Inspector in the game, but I absolutely love it when he changes his tone of voice when he's kind of describing the motivations of the people in this world. Where he goes, it goes like, hope, despair, greed, I have always meant to check if the Japanese versions is something similar. But this guy, man, just, I love him. All the claps and high praises for this guy. But yeah, and it wasn't until many years later that I actually noticed that the object behind the scrolling text in the opening is that first ruins, where Mega Man is picked up by Roll. And it clicked for me when I entered, when I was a teenager. Oh, she drops him off there too. So I thought that was just a fun little detail I kind of missed as a kid when I first played the game. But this opening is it's very memorable for so many reasons, just beyond the 7 words for me personally. I absolutely love and adore everything about Mega Man Legends. It's so far removed from everything that we have come to expect from Mega Man at that time. And it was just a nice little buffer to kind of get us ready for something that was going to be so drastically different in this crazy world with, no robots, no Reploids. It's a nice little primer. But yeah, I love this one. It's one of my favorites, and I will never forget it.
Howdy folks, ShadowRock here, and today we're visiting a world covered by endless water. You know something? When I saw that Mega Man Legends of all games broke into the top 5, never mind 4th place, I was kind of shocked. Probably because, for me, it's number 11. However, it's not hard to see why it got ranked so highly. I mean, just listen to this narrator talk at the beginning. He is so super into it, it's actually hilarious. Watching through the opening text crawl again, I was actually giggling to myself by the time we got to the paragraph. However, over the years, and then began to be whispered among the diggers. Yeah, you could tell this guy was having a lot of fun reading this. And even though at the end of the day it is just a text crawl while you watch the flutter fly towards the first ruins in the game over all this endless water, the narration 100% makes it, leaving you wanting to hear about the legendary Mother Lode and the diggers all over again every time you boot up the game on your console. Then you get to the title screen and you see all these Lego men going around doing a bunch of shenanigans, like bumping into each other and stuff. What the heck is this game even about? You hit game start and you hear, here we go! This game has so much character, and it really shows when you watch the opening cutscene, which is set up just like an Indiana Jones moment. You have Mega Man just casually walking into this dangerous treasure room, takes the refractor, And then things go to crap, of course. Dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. And he just barely makes it out, literally sliding on his chin out the door. That's gotta hurt. And after all that, Mega Man's like, oh yeah, everything's a-okay here, nothing to worry about. In the opening minutes of this game, you already got me loving Mega Man Volna and this world of Mega Man Legends. And it's partly thanks to this opening that really makes you feel like you're on a grand adventure to find some treasure. And that way, the opening of Mega Man Legends does exactly what it needs to do. And I gotta give it major props for doing that. That's all from me for today. Now to wonder what the top 3 are going to be that we're going to find just over the horizon. Hope, despair, charity, greed, duty, power. Who can say what truly motivates the Megatubers?